The mental and emotional state of an individual is pivotal to the individual well-being. It reflects judgments by a person about their well-being. Happiness refers to good life or flourishing as opposed to emotion. What is happiness? What makes people happy? What's the importance on social, emotional, and well-being of an individual? This is our focus on Panorama, coming to you from the Lagos Network Center as the world sets to celebrate International Day of Happiness. I am Michael Olaleye, but first the news making the headlines. Stay with us. We shall be back shortly. President Muhammadu Buhari has reassured Nigerians that his administration will not abdicate its responsibility in protecting lives and property across the country. Addressing the people of Benue State at a town hall meeting during a fact-finding visit, the president stated the federal government's resolve to bring to an end the rearing violence conflict between farmers and herdsmen. State House correspondent Musambo reports.
President Muhammadu Buhari, accompanied by the Ministers of Defense, Information and Agriculture, the National Security Advisor and the Service Chiefs, was in Makurdi to not only find facts but also commiserate with the government and people of Benue State over the recent loss suffered as a result of the farmers-herdsmen conflicts. At a town hall meeting well attended by political, community and religious leaders as well as other stakeholders, the president expressed heartfelt sympathy over their predicament arising from the recurring conflicts, which he described as unfortunate, disturbing and counterproductive.
I have a nostalgic experience of people from here that we went through all the turbulence that brought us up to this position. So there's no way I could deliberately overlook what is happening security-wise here and anywhere in Nigeria. As I said, and which you all know, our great party campaign on three things: security, economy, and corruption. I'm doing my best.
The issue of security, President Buhari, however, insists is everybody's business, as government alone cannot effectively guarantee public security, and therefore called for caution and restraint.
What I would appeal is a question of you in your various constituencies to apply restraint. Myself and the governor and some of you who hold in public office will go. But the relationship between cattle herders and the farmers in Benue State will continue beyond us as it was before us. This is the reality of the situation. Nobody can question God. Why did God put us together? And it's fall on you as the leaders of the various communities you come from to keep on leading them and advising them to live peacefully.
Governor Samuel Otom of Benue State assured President Buhari that no one is holding him responsible for the security challenge in the state, as the conflict started well before his coming to power. He, however, expressed the belief that with the president's visit, the end of the recurrent crisis is in sight.
We believe that if this exercise, Ayeme Patuma, is upgraded to Operation Ayeme Patuma, the issue of armed herdsmen can be eliminated.
Speakers at the event, including representatives of farmers and cattle breeders, spoke in the same vein, with most of them insisting that the open grazing prohibition and ranching establishment law is the best way forward.
That if there is something that is dear to the hearts of Benue people, it is that law.
That law was made to the advantage of the farmers and also the herdsmen.
I know that we will not cry anymore now that you are here. You are welcome to Benue State, Mr. President.
We see in you a man of honor, a man of integrity, a man of patriotism. As you leave for Abuja, we are going to smile. Benue is yours and yours to keep.
The people assured the president of continued support and cooperation, but made a case for enhanced government presence in Benue, the food basket of the nation. From Makurdi, Adamu Sambu, NTA.
The federal government says it has chosen negotiation rather than military option in rescuing the adopted schoolgirls from Chibok and Dapchi because Nigerians want them back alive. President Muhammadu Buhari stated these while exchanging views with the United States Secretary of State Rex Tillerson. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo again reports.
See you again. Indeed.
You are welcome.
Thank you.
President Muhammadu Buhari explained that Nigeria is working in concert with international organizations and negotiators to ensure that the girls in captivity are released unharmed by their captors. As he puts it, we are trying to be careful. It is better to get our daughters back alive. The president thanked the United States government for the assistance rendered Nigeria in the fight against insurgency, saying the Nigerian forces are good but need more equipment and training. He promised that the federal government will continue to do its best towards securing the country for efficient management, promising to be in Yobe State soon, where Dapchi girls were abducted to sympathize with the people. President Buhari used the forum to restate his administration's commitment to free and fair polls in 2019. Later, at a joint media briefing with Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister Geoffrey Onyema, Mr. Rex Tillerson commended the Nigerian leader for the giant strides being recorded in the fight against corruption.
President Buhari's work has resonated across the continent with his recent recognition as the African Union's anti-corruption champion. We continue to encourage the Nigerian government to work with civic and community leaders to create a durable social, economic, and political infrastructure that supports lasting peace and development for the decades to come.
The U.S. Secretary of State described Nigeria as a very important country to the United States and will continue to be supported in addressing prevailing challenges as well as transforming the economy.
We collaborate to create a number of opportunities to increase trade and investment and to expand access to electricity, an essential component of both human and economic development. The recent kidnapping of more than 100 schoolgirls is heartbreaking. Nigeria has the United States' full support, and we are actively working with our partners here on other ways we can assist you in this fight.
And in particular, as you know, the United States has agreed to sell to Nigeria the A-29, the Super Tucano aircraft, which our aircraft and military believe will be a game changer.
The Foreign Affairs Minister, Geoffrey Onyema, said Mr. Rex Tillerson's visit shows the robust and highly beneficial relations between Nigeria and the United States, which he said can only get better. From the State House.
The role of banking sector in the promotion of the nation's economy, especially the federal government's programs on diversification of the economy, came to the fore at the presentation of a book, Banking Reform in Nigeria, the Law, the Prospect and the Challenges. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo at the occasion says the only way banking in Nigeria could make significant impact in the life of its citizens is by providing single-digit loans to micro, small and medium enterprise and not by declaring huge profits at the end of every financial year. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
It is a conversation which has been going on for a very long time, one which the author, from his wealth of experience, is making contributions on how to break the riddle of poverty in the land. As the Vice President notes, industries are being frustrated out of business due to high interest rates on loans, and the people, he says, are puzzled by the huge profit coming in for the banks.
And the truth is that the way banking business has been designed, there is little room for financial inclusion. There's little room for those who cannot afford to pay the kinds of charges that banks have to make. Let me quickly add that this is not necessarily the fault of the banks alone. We run an economic system that essentially favors the strong and excludes the weak. It has been our task as a government to turn that around. First, by a social investment program, which provides in the budget 500 billion, and of course, a more aggressive financial inclusion strategy.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo is also of the view that the central bank should be in total control, monitoring the activities of the banks and taking actions where necessary. So many concerns are raised on the banking system in Nigeria, and finding solutions to those questions, as hoped, could lead to a buoyant economy.
What is it that we can do as a nation to lower the cost of funds in Nigeria so that our young men, young women, entrepreneurs can risk taking money from our financial institutions in order to realize their dreams? Why is banking in Nigeria different from what obtains outside this country? Why?
The book is the academic contribution of Honorable Bote Ayorinte, member, House Technical Committee on Recession to the nation's economic reform. From the International Conference Center, Abuja, Jude Onifade, NT News.
After a series of engagements, complaints and heated debates at various fora over the newly reviewed land use charge law in Lagos State, Governor Akinwumi Ambode says the government is open to further discussion with stakeholders in estate management, property owners and the organized private sector to address grey areas in the law. The governor stated these while answering questions from journalists in Lagos. Musa Toliat completes the report.
Governor Akinwumi Ambode said the land use charge law is not meant to bring untold hardship on Lagos residents, but to harmonize the tenement rate, ground rent and neighborhood improvement levy in the state. He, however, stressed that the state government is not unmindful of the agitations in various quarters over the land use charge. Governor Ambode therefore assured Lagos residents and the organized private sector that the complaints generated by the law will be addressed.
Governance is about people, it's about what they want. When I say I want dialogue, I really mean it. And I'm ready to respond to that. By the end of this week, we should be able to come out with something positive that actually ameliorates the issues being raised by concerned stakeholders.
Meanwhile, the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Imoimin Edgar, has invited members of the Nigeria Bar Association Ikeja branch to a roundtable discussion to work out modalities on the proposed protest by the NBA over the land use charge law.
We intend to ensure that the routes that they have followed are not routes where the protests can be hijacked, where security of the state can be compromised.
Stakeholders in property management and the organized private sector have consistently requested that the implementation of the new land use charge be put on hold until the grey areas in the law are sorted out. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
We told you earlier that our focus on News Panorama is happiness. What determines happiness, challenges and risks associated with happiness. With unhappiness will be addressed on this program. I have with me in the studio a comedian par excellence. Is another person popularly known as Alibaba.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
What determines happiness?
Well, there are several indicators for happiness. One is peace of mind. The other one is a good job. The other is your community. If your community is having a war, the happiness is out of it. Then some other good amenities also can create happiness. If you want to find out if people are really happy, try to get into the front of someone who is in traffic and hurrying somewhere. You will know how unhappy the person is when you try to get. So it also includes the amenities that are in the place where anybody lives, which is why you find some people say, I'm not happy being in Lagos. I prefer to be in Abuja, because if I want to get from point A to point B, it doesn't take me 10 minutes and I get to the place. Happiness, like I said, have a lot of it. Some people, the fact that they are married and don't have children can create unhappiness for them. For some, the fact that they are married and have too many children can also be a sign of unhappiness. So the indicators are different. By the world standard is that there was a time Nigeria was voted the happiest people on earth. But today, as the International Day of Happiness, I figure that the joke we've shared lately is that maybe they've made the women very happy and they figure that this should be the day to compensate the men. Generally, it's believed that when people have good jobs and comfortable and have peace of mind, that they always have happiness.
People say the internal peace brings happiness. Is it true?
Yes. Like if you're a Muslim or a Christian, there's a peace that you have that passes all understanding. And it comes from the religious and spiritual experience that you have. The more you connect with your ultimate God, the peace of mind that you have that comes from that always increases your happiness. We also believe that people who have good friends, when you have an issue, you have friends that you can run to and you get solace. It also can help you be happy. Some people, just having something to eat can make them happy. You can check that out. Every time people are hungry and they're waiting to get food, it takes away any form of happiness that you can expect from them. But as soon as they've eaten, they're happy.
Why then do people strive for happiness despite challenges around them?
Well, the thing is, everybody works towards making sure that you are happy. It could be your retirement. You can work towards having a happy retirement. So what it means is that you put all the hard work all through your time and then retire. It could be getting a degree. You've worked hard, you want to get the degree. As soon as you get the degree, it brings you happiness. Some parents, it's seeing their children married that gets them happy. You can find out everywhere in Nigeria when women have daughters and sons that have gotten to 30, 32, 33, 30, they feel unhappy on behalf of the children. And so they keep putting pressure. So happiness is something that you strive towards, attain, and dwell in it.
These days, people enjoy attending social functions. Can we say all these are geared towards happiness?
Well, some are temporary happiness, which is why some people take to drugs, which is really not necessary. Some other people, you find that maybe at home, it's war. So when they stay with their wives are fighting with them, or the husband is giving them a lot of stress. So you see those people spend a lot more time either in bars or at work. So they close from work at about 3 or 4, but won't go home till about 10, 11. When you ask him, he says he's not happy at home. So, which is the other reason they say women at home, they can make the home peaceful for you. And then some men too will not make the home peaceful for some women. So the woman works, or the man comes back from work. He's drunk, he's beating her. So the home is supposed to be where you get full happiness. But some people are denied of that because of certain things. Another thing is false accusation could take away your happiness as well. There are people who are in jail now for something they did not do. You definitely know that's not a happy situation. So for a lot of people, it's just different.
Ali Baba, I want to ask, do comedians, are they always happy?
It's the wrongest thing that people think of. As a comedian, if you perform somewhere and your balance is not paid, there's nothing that will make you happy. And then the other thing is that if you, as a comedian, there are days that you have you're human. So there are days you have your downtime, there are days you have your, but the thing is that if you have a job to do, you make everybody happy and go back. If your house rent is due and you've not gotten money to pay it, you will not be happy. If you have issues that you're battling with, if it's marital, if it's business-wise, you also can have those issues. But people get it wrong and say, oh, comedians must always be happy. Oh, comedians. My daughter was talking with a friend one day and she said, because your father is a comedian, you all will be happy at home all them. And my daughter said, he beats us. Forget that matter. You know. So it is that people just get it wrong. That the fact that you're same way they say, oh, because somebody is a pastor, he's without sin. It's fallacy. Or you see, oh, they'll say, oh, the man is a billionaire, he can never be broke. It's all fallacies. So as a comedian, I'll answer you directly. There are days that I have my downtime and there are days that I'm very happy. But I strive to make sure that I keep a balance. Anything that weighs me down, I now take to either sports, movies, books, or people there are people you connect with them. Every time you connect with them, you are happy. So you always look for those people that will raise your energy.
And what are the health implications of unhappiness?
High blood pressure, depression, poor thoughts, because people who are unhappy do not relate with other people well. So your communication skills will reflect your unhappiness. There are some people, just seeing them come to work in the morning, and you say, ah, Abdullah, morning, no. They say, what's happened? You say, good morning. They say, what's good about the morning? Why are you greeting me? Yesterday when I told you to give me a ride, you didn't give me. You just know that some people just lack happiness. And so it depends. It depends, I'll say.
Does the government has a role to play in making people happy?
Well, the government does. So like I told you about amenities, if there's flooding, there's nobody that will be happy. By the time you come from work, your water is taken out. If during an election, they put somebody who is not supposed to be there, people will not be happy. So the thing is that, and then if robbers are terrorizing everywhere and people don't sleep at night, you will not get enough sleep, so it will disrupt your working hours. All of those. So security also helps happiness, and that's to be provided by government. Road, amenities, health facilities as well can help. So when you are sick, you walk into the place, get your treatment, and move on. Those are the things that government should do to make people tap into happiness. So government provides a lot of indicators that help people determine. That's why you find some people say, oh, I'd rather go to so and so state and pay tax than some other states, because the government is doing a lot more work than, which is the attraction to Lagos.
What do you have to say to Nigerians concerning happiness?
Well, it is, you have to create your own happiness, but we live in an area, in an era where people think money is happiness. It is not money that is happiness, it's how you manage your life. Drinking 2 bottles of beer and going to a comedy show or buying new clothes or may create some sense of happiness for you, but the peace that comes from within is what is actually happiness.
I want to thank you for making it a date with us on News Panorama.
Thank you.
And the news continues. You are still watching Panorama, coming to you from the Lagos Network Center. More reports after the break. Don't go away.
Okay, sir. You may now go in for your interview.
Thank you. My shoe. And to think I just bought this very expensive foreign shoe 2 months ago.
So sorry about your shoes. This is why I advise my friends to always patronize made in Nigeria products. See this shoe. It's made in Nigeria, and I've had it for 2 years, and it's still as good as the day I bought it.
Made in Nigeria products are good quality, and stringent government regulations and certification now mean that goods made in Nigeria meet international standards. Make the patriotic choice today. Buy right. Buy made in Nigeria.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
And to sports, 2018 Flag Officers Commanding Western Naval Command Office Gov and Professional Gov Tournament ends with an appeal for all hands to be on deck to build more Gov to help develop the sport in the country. As the 3rd IGP Professional Boxing Tournament ends in Lagos, Adiola Omokivi has details on our sports updates.